everyone, welcome to the quick tutorial on how to create a new listing on shelterregistry.com. The screen that you're looking at right now is the listing dashboard, and you can view this dashboard after you sign up and validate your email address and then log in. What you'll see on the listing dashboard is a reminder that shelterregistry.com is very broad in its description of what a shelter is. It's essentially any type of commercial or residential facility that can help people with putting a roof over their head. Now, as it relates to the continuum of care, what's important here is that we have three categories. And so, what you'll want to be thinking is if you were a user searching for a bed or a place to stay, what would you be searching for? And so this might be a police officer searching, or it might be a case manager or social worker, or somebody who's homeless. And so the first category that we have here on this black box is generally for anything in the hospital category. This middle category is going to be anything that's free or public shelter. And this third category is going to be generally a paid halfway house or a paid shared house. It could even be roommate housing. And so you're going to want to go ahead and pick one of the three. Now, for this demonstration, I'm actually going to use a couple facilities that I found online. And so I don't own this facility. I'm not affiliated with it. It's just a publicly found rehab facility. And so, with that in mind, I'm not sure if they actually do medical detox or if it's just a recovery house, meaning a lower level of care. So, for this example, I'm going to use a halfway or shared house. Now we have to pick the name of the house. So I'm going to use House of Angels. And the best point of contact might be Jack Smith. Jack's phone number might be 205-667-3546. And the address for this shelter that's already online is what I am using. Now, I do want you to notice that the street address is internal. And also, if you have a unit or lot number, you do need to put that here. If you don't, you would want to click on this NA button. We only allow for one street address per property ID. Now you'll want to fill out the external information. So this one's actually in Mountain Brook, Alabama. The zip code here in the United States. Now here you're going to see that you'll want to enter the address of a nearby church or hospital to be pinned on the Google map instead of your shelter location. Or if you prefer to disclose your shelter location, you may re-enter the entire address again. And so this is up to you if you want to make your location publicly known on Google Maps. Now, I'm actually going to use a nearby restaurant, which I found on Google Maps. And that way, Google will pin this location nearby, but not actually at the location. And so if someone is searching for where this is and they just want to know the neighborhood, they would be able to know the neighborhood without actually knocking on the door to the recovery house. Now I'll want to put in a description. So in this case, I'm going to say recovery house for co-ed. And I'll put $200 entry fee plus $1,000 per month. Now, you can put anything that you would like in the description, You don't have to put in the charge here because it is going to ask that information down below. So you generally would want to put in what makes your location special or great. And moving on to the intake instructions, if you would like to disclose somebody's contact information, you can do that here. Otherwise, it's going to be internal only, and a person will have to apply now, and it will land in your inbox with their contact information. So that way you can pick up the phone or the email and you can reach out to them without publicly giving out your contact information, unless you want to say right here, contact Jack Smith at such and such number. I would not recommend doing that because it's much more effective to let Jack work on what he needs to work on and instead say something like, please apply now on this website and we will reach out to you with our funding requirements or something, whatever it is that you want with more information. So I just want you to see that there. Now you would want to pick your shelter type. Do note that you're going to want to pick all that apply because people are probably going to have different ideas of what they're looking for. And so if you know that your shelter accommodates several different populations or is wheelchair accessible, etc., then you're going to want to select all of these so that way your location can be found the easiest. So in this case, I am going to go ahead and put that this is a sober living under 6 months, sober living over 6 months, and that it allows for medically assisted treatment. I will also put that children are permitted at this location, pets are permitted at this location, smoking is permitted outside, it is wheelchair accessible, and it's co-ed. Now remember, I don't have any affiliation to this location. I just know that this is a public detox or recovery facility that I was able to Google online. Now, the housing type here is, you want to look at if it's an open concept shelter, if it's a shared house with private rooms, or if they are shared bedrooms with double occupancy or triple occupancy. If you get over triple occupancy, then you're probably going to want to put, pick one and then put something in your description to elaborate on that. Now, the bedroom count for this halfway house or shared house, I'm going to, estimate is probably a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom with 0 garages because I'm familiar with the area. Maybe the house itself is 2,000 square feet, or you could use the bedroom square footage, which might be 150 square feet for the bedroom. The lot size is probably around 10,000 square feet. The year updated, if it was recently remodeled, might be 2020. Shared bathrooms. And we were talking about that, there's a price to get in. And so $0 to $500, or I'm sorry, this is the monthly price. And so we have the monthly price at $701 to $1,000 and $1,001 to $1,200. And then the entry fee was a couple $100. So that would match what I wrote here, $200 entry fee plus $1,000 per month. This might be a level 3 recovery house based on this pricing. In fact, in this area, it would probably be $2,000 to get in and $1,000 a month if it were a level 3 house. So maybe a level 2. Now, are utilities included? For the example, we'll say yes. The payment methods. So perhaps this location only takes private pay, in which case you would want to put what type of private pay that you accept. If you take health insurance, you would want to note health insurance. If it's drug court approved, you could put that, et cetera, et cetera. So those are things that you want to put. Select all that apply. What ages do you allow for? So if you allow, primarily for adults, then you would want to select all that apply. But because this location, for the example I've said, allows for children, I'm also going to include the underage. And if you are very strictly one versus the other, you would just want to include 17 years and younger. If you do teenagers, and then if you do very young children for foster care and you specialize in dealing with children 10 years and younger, you might want to just list that. And then genders admitted. So this is co-ed. So I'm actually going to list all of these. And then as far as how long a person can stay or the length of stay, for this example, I'm going to go ahead and include up to 1 month. So in up to 1 month, that would mean that they could stay for 1 night, 2 night, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, or 7 to 14, because maybe people are only looking for a facility for 2 weeks. And so they might search 7 to 14 nights. So it's important to include all that apply. If they need to move out at day 30, then you've included all of that. If this is an emergency shelter, then you only let them stay, let's say 1 night or 2 nights, then you would only have 1 or 2 nights, and et cetera. Now, if you let people stay up to 2 years, like Katie's House Foundation does, then we would click up to 2 years, but we do actually have a minimum of 1 week. So each place will be a little bit different. Some places might be permanent housing, in which case that would be maybe veteran housing over 2 years, and you could pick over 2 years. Now, this is where you would put all the features of the location. So you would just want to read through this and mark anything that's applicable. And the languages is going to be a big one, especially with immigration. And also, what will be big, of course, is if they need to have a credit check, if they need to have a social security number, if they need to have an ID, or if a social worker or police officer can verify the identity of the applicant. And if you allow people to have charges pending or a previous felony, a background check, public transportation, is there a manager on site? Is there a property manager? So these are all very important things. Is food provided? Is bed and furniture provided? Transportation? Can the room be locked? Is there a security system, heating, air conditioning, internet, support services, entry-level work, etc.? And now, what is your intake method? So this, we said we will contact you and we'll say that the capacity is maybe 10 beds and perhaps there's only one vacancy right now. And this is updated as of today. We would hit next. And then here you would want to go ahead and upload a photo. You do need to have at least one photo, and you can upload up to 4 of them. And then for best results, you would want to use this size, which you could use your computer and right click on the image to edit the size. And then you can upload here your intake application, your house rules, your pricing, or a flyer. Do not upload anything that would disclose a private location. So if you have some documentation and it has your logo or your contact information or your address, you would need to pull that off of your flyer or rules if you want to have that just publicly known for a police officer or a caseworker or the end user resident who wants to move in. Maybe you want them to look at those house rules as part of your intake application or intake instructions, but you don't want to give them your contact information. So just be cognizant of that if you choose to upload anything. I'm going to go ahead and pick a photo here and hit submit. And just want to give the system a moment to update it. And then here on the checkout, even if it's $0, you do need to go through the entire checkout to move your listing from draft to active. And then you can go into your dashboard and change it to full or canceled if you'd like. And if you don't complete it, it'll save to your drafts and delete within 7 days or after 7 days. So I just want you to take a look at $0 right now for listings in 2023. And then it'll be $15 per month for the cost of data and support services in 2004. So I'm going to go ahead and check out. and then I will meet you back in the dashboard to show you what the listing looks like. Okay, everyone. So I have gone through the checkout process. Only took just a few seconds. And now it takes me right back to my listing dashboard. And I can see that I currently have 2 active listings and I have 0 applications. If I want to view the listings, I can see all of my listings regardless of what their status is. And so when we're talking about a status, here on the left-hand side, properties can be moved from active to draft to full or canceled. The only time that you're paying if you're on a paid subscription is if it's an active status. Now, you would want to push something to full, even if it's just for the night or the day, if you don't want people finding it and applying. Now, I want to tell you on the property ID, this is where you would go in and you would update your number of vacancies. So every day you might want to pop in there and change what your capacity is if you've added more beds or if you have additional openings. And you would do that just by clicking on the property ID and hitting edit, and then you could go ahead and make any changes to your listing. Now, for people to actually see your listing, they're going to see them under the search and apply tab. And they're going to go ahead and be searching. And once they see something that works for them, they will come here and they will look at your listing. They will go to the bottom and they will see that you have a capacity of 10 and only 1 vacancy. And here's your description. And at the very top, you actually get the intake instructions, and you can see over here the apply now. So thank you so much for listing all of your shelter locations and sharing this website and your listings on social media. So that way, this shelterregistry.com can start to have hundreds and thousands of shelter listings all over the United States. That way, any police officer or caseworker or an American can simply come here and they can search for their zip code. They can look at what type of facility they need, and they can put in here this information and find exactly what they need, because we know people transition up and down on the continuum of care. And this is so important to list your locations here so that way they can find you. And when you're full, your information will be saved. That way you can easily transition your location from having an open bed to a full bed and back and forth as we help reduce homelessness and improve drug and alcohol recovery. Have a great day.